What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bolero. Sam here with Gab and Maui. What's up, guys?
Yes. So many games, so many games.
So much
Master
basketball,
Sando
di
Gab
ba? So much
and
basketball all
Maui.
around.
Ang daming basketball, tama ka dyan. And today, we're going to talk about all the basketball games we saw over the weekend and during the past few days that we haven't been talking. So, meron tayong mga Pinoyliga games, meron tayong mga Filoil games featuring UAAP teams. So, sa dinami-dami ng basketball games natin, let's do an episode of Ballers versus Boleros or Ballers and Boleros for this week. So, let's get started. Pero bago pala yon, meron pa tayong mga upcoming games for Pinoy Liga. I think the playoffs are coming soon. For Filoil naman, I think this week, except tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll have like 5 games every day, basically, for the rest of the week. So that's going to be crazy. And hindi lang yun. If hindi ka pa nagsasawa or suka sa mga basketball games, meron pa tayong The Big Dance in August. I think Pinoy League already posted about it. I think Maui, you shared an article about it online then. So they finally announced the Big Dance. I think it's like a 32 team competition, March Madness style. So that's coming in August. So watch out for that. But bago yon, let's do our Ballers versus Boleros. Let's start with the positives. Let's go with Ballers. Matagal na tayo hindi nag-Ballers and Bolero. So, let's start with the positive naman, Ballers. So, let's start with you, Maui. Sino ang Baller of the Week mo?
Yeah, actually, not just for the week, but probably the last 2 weeks. I think we've been talking about him we talked about him sa previous episode namin. We have to say it's John Ray Pasaol. Kasi initially, it was only VJ Preo was showing out. I was actually surprised. Kasi as I mentioned to you guys, diba last year, we thought that Pasaol was eligible for season 86 kasi galing niya nung off-season. And it was surprising to me during the start of the preseason games that he wasn't really that much flashy. I think that has been quashed the past week. He's had games that I think he's had multiple 20-point games. I think a 27-point game. And if you watch the games, actually yung demeanor ni Pasaol is a lot different than it was during the start of the
Tapang na niya. Sobrang oozing with confidence.
Yeah, and he's super aggressive. I think he has the trust of Coach Sean Chambers. I'm actually looking at a season similar to RJ Abarientos. Yung loan season ni RJ Abarientos with FEU. I think that Pasaol is capable of doing that. We are also seeing Pasaol, the classic Pasaol tradition of taunting, diba? yung paglabas ng dila ni John Ray Pasaol is very reminiscent of his brother during his times with UE. Kulang na lang, actually, hintay ko na lang yung ganong sign niya, yung kain. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be positive about when it comes to FEU. If you watch them nung start ng Pinoy Liga, I think they lost the first few games. If you watch them recently, you're seeing a different team. Si Coach Sean Chambers actually is very passionate also. Very passionate also. If you watch the games, you can see that he is very passionate. He is very vocal, even to the referees. So I'm excited. I'm excited for FEU. I think the past few seasons, I've been saying FEU is one of the teams that's missing na constant sa UAAP. Maybe this is really the step in the right direction, diba? Let's see. I think one of the best things I like about FEU is, aside from Pasaol, is yung team nila is made up of a lot of their players came from the juniors division, from their team. So most of these guys are homegrown talent. And when you get homegrown talent, you really see yung passion nila and yung fighting spirit nila for their school. So yeah, I would say John Ray Pasaol is one of the first persons from FEU this off-season to be a baller. Gab.
Good point. Let me just add two things, Gab. Let me just add two things. You mentioned si RJ Abarientos, Maui. I think medyo nakaka-trigger yon for FEU fans because, RJ only played one season. So hopefully Pasaol will play longer for FEU. The second thing, I think it was also you who mentioned this, Maui. Kasi we've been very critical of Pasaol, lalo na nung start. Nandun yun sa chat natin. I think you made a good point dun sa chat natin that's worth mentioning. And you said na it's probably because natenga din siya, 'di ba? One season siya. Basically, 1 year siyang natenga, not playing competitive 5-on-5 basketball, yung UAAP level type of basketball. So it was probably yung first few months niya when he wasn't performing as well. He was still trying to get back to up to speed basically, or get back into shape dun sa competitive 5-on-5. And as you mentioned, you and Gaba mentioned, he looks very comfortable now, and it's actually scary to see John Ray Pasaol this comfortable and this good as early as this season. Gab, go ahead. You were going to say something.
No. Before I move on to my pick for baller, I had FEU on my short list. Not just John Ray Pasol, FEU as whole. They had 2 impressive wins the past week. One against Adamson, a come from behind. Yes, it was still a come from behind win, and also against UE, another come from behind win. So, and the first game against Adamson, it was a John Ray Pasaol show. I think he top scored with 25 points or 27 points.
Yeah.
In the second game against UE, it wasn't Pasaol actually, where he missed a ton of his shots. It was actually VJ Pre who dominated that game. So you could see that 1-2 punch that I was talking about, man. This 1-2 punch is scary, and I love that they're getting chances to play make each of them. You see a lot of John Ray Pasaol isolation, you top of the key. You also see a lot of VJ Pre top of the key isolation, putting the moves on Precious Momoway and all the other UE big men in that game, giving the spin move, the floater, lahat. Grabe yung bag ni VJ Pre. He does not look like a big man talaga. He doesn't play like a big man at all. His skills are really for a wing player. It's scary. It's scary that he's a freshman, a rookie, and his perimeter skills are this polished for his height. I love these two, and they're also running a lot of action between the two of them. Dribble handoff, screen and roll, even with John Ray Pasaol screening for VJ Pre. They do that also. I love it. I love this 1-2 punch. They've mostly moved Joric Bautista to the bench, actually. I don't know if you guys noticed that. For the past couple of games.
I've seen that.
They've moved Joric to the bench. More of, I think, as a stabilizer of the bench, a spark plug role. And they're moving Joric Bautista off the ball. So he's not anymore the guy that you isolate the top of the key, you do a lot of pick and roll for. You actually try to get him open for shots because that's his strength. He's a shooter.
Cyrus Torres role.
He's not. Yes, exactly, Maui. Thank you. The new Cyrus Torres for FEU is Joric Bautista. And I like that he's coming off the bench, which means that this allows VJ Pre and John Ray Pasaol to cook in the first 5, to play their offense. Ako honestly, sabi ko a few weeks ago, or the start of the preseason, when they were first playing, sabi ko, it's gonna be rough for FEU this coming season. No? I mean, a lot of bumps on the road. They're gonna struggle. Now, I think they're possibly gonna surprise. Diba? Parang tumaas yung stock ng FEU sa akin eh.
Remember, Gab, when you asked us who are you high on, who are you down on, I picked FEU as a team that I was high on, that was rising as a stock. So watch that episode.
But FEU has been very good in the off-season, diba? The past few seasons also.
To be fair.
That's something that they have to carry over to the UAP. Do not start 0-5. I think that's one of their...
Yun lang. That's a good point. Yeah.
And they got to fill a few holes lang. The backup center role, I'm sorry, pero si Miguel Ona talaga, he's sometimes afraid to shoot. He sometimes can't make point-blank shots. So, they gotta find the backup big. Ako, sa akin, okay na si Konate. I mean, he's competent enough. He can grab rebounds.
Yeah, he's decent. Yeah, he's very decent actually.
He's very decent. Actually, more than decent, Sammy. I would say he's
Yeah,
more than
yeah,
decent.
yeah.
He's very skilled
It's good.
around the rim. The question lang for me for FEU is, what do you do with the veterans who are coming in? There's still Cholo Anunuevo. There's still Royce Alforque. So that's the question for me. I don't
The
think
two guys we haven't
you
seen
can.
so much of, no?
Yeah, and
Both
I'm
injured, I
not yet
think.
sure if. Yeah, I'm not yet sure also if Kirby Moncopa is gonna play this season. There hasn't been any word from them, but we see Kirby in the stands always during FEU games, sitting with the likes of Cholo Anunuevo and Royce Alforque. So I'm not sure, is he gonna be ready. I know Cholo is gonna get minutes. The problem I have is I don't think he can play with um, VJ Pre, because you need a lot of space for VJ Pre and John Ray Pasaol. Cholo is not a shooter. He's a slasher. He's a slasher. He's a guy who needs the ball as well. Diba? We've seen Cholo already for a couple of seasons. We know what his game is like. I think he's better if you play him with Joric off the bench. I don't know what you guys think about that. Si Royce Alforque, I'm sorry Royce, pero maybe as a backup point guard to John Ray, or a third string point guard na lang, yun na lang ang maging role ni Royce. But you have to make way for the younger guys. Eh. Si Cholo ang very interesting sa akin, but because he's obviously talented, he's obviously very athletic, he's long for his position, he's tall, but I don't think you want shooting beside John Ray Pasaol and VJ Pre, and I don't think Cholo provides that. I want him more off the bench. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think possible din, Gab, kasi we were talking about Miguel Ona as the backup center. We saw a lot of spot minutes with Cholo Nuevo at the 5 last year. And it was working
that's
for
true.
FEU. Diba? So maybe they can do that versus opponents that are not as tall as probably LaSalle or UP. Maybe against teams like Ateneo or teams like UST, they can play those kinds of lineups also.
Good point, Maui. Maybe nga, ano, a front court with like Cholo and VJ Pre, just spread the floor out, or you run with those guys. We've seen the small ball lineup be effective for FEU. Actually, the reason why they had so many close games last season was just because they played a ton of small ball. Eh.
That was the only successful lineup,
Yeah.
actually, in my opinion. Also.
Yeah. It seemed effective against Ateneo.
Sammy, stop reminding us. Stop reminding us. Well, anyway,
Okay.
that's it for FEU.
Gab.
I think they've had two pretty good games, and I like what I see so far. And I'm sure FEU fans, please let us know, is Kirby Moncopa gonna play? I want to know, because he's another guy. He's another guy who can actually contribute right away, and I think he's pretty good. And they also have a former Gilas guy, si Jaden Jones, who's on the way. I think once he graduates from high school in the US, he's also coming to join this team. But my pick for baller of the weekend, and that's why I'm wearing yellow, is the UST Growling Tigers. Yes. I really chose this.
May tiger talaga.
May tiger ba yan? Hindi.
It's actually it's a bear. It's a bear. I'm sorry.
Pwede na. Close enough.
Close enough.
Pag malayo,
Yeah,
malayo, it's close enough.
Yeah, but my pick is the UST Growling Tigers. Now, granted, they lost both of their opening games against, well, top opponents.
Grabe naman mag-open
UP.
ka ng Filoil, LaSalle UP yung una mong kalaban.
Yeah,
Grabe.
exactly.
Kawawa.
Yun na nga maganda.
But I think, yun na nga, yeah, exactly. Sam, imagine, dikit! Both games! We just saw it a while ago.
Lumaban.
Wait, was it a 4-point game? A 4-point win? Was it a 4-point win? Yeah, it was, I think.
Something like that.
But till the...
A 3-point win. Only a 3-point win.
3-point win.
Possession.
A 3-point loss pala, sorry. A 3-point loss against UP. And a very close game against LaSalle. Now, they were down double digits in the fourth, but they took the lead in the third. They were pretty in this game up until right before the end, where LaSalle eventually broke away. But if you're a UST fan, you would love to see this. That this team is not getting blown out. They're actually in these games. They're competing with LaSalle and UP nonetheless, with the full rotations of LaSalle. Well, there was no Mike Phillips in the LaSalle game, but UP had their full rotation and you kept it close. You were in this game. And actually, if Leland Estacio did not make that awful pass to Tongkara at the end, I think they would have taken the lead at the end of this game. Diba? They had a chance to win. So,
Nag-heat check pa siya, di ba? If he made that three-pointer, they would have taken the lead.
yes, exactly. So, again, if you're a USD fan, I think you like seeing this, man. I think you're gonna have to be excited. You've had, what, 3 wins in the...
Totoo na yung hype. Totoo na yung hype.
Mukhang totoo na.
Totoo na. And actually, their stock is also rising on my end because unlike last season, Maui, di ba sabi natin, baka mag-surprise tong UST, marami silang bago. But we never saw them in the preseason. So we only had paper to go on, the notes on paper. Sino yung mga players sila. Yun lang yung ating idea of how they were gonna play. And eventually, they disappointed. They only won 2 games. But now we actually get to see them in the preseason. We actually get to see their full lineup in the preseason. And actually, it's not even their full lineup. They don't have Zayn Mahmoud yet. So,
who was one of their biggest recruits.
One of their biggest recruits. And what I love about this UST team is that they have multiple playmakers now. It's not just Nick Cabanero. They have multiple guys who can create shots for themselves and for others. I do want to give a mini shout out, a mini baller of the week to Fortsky Padrigao. I'm so happy to see him back playing in the UAAP. I told this to you guys last week, or I think the week before, when I talked about JD Cagolangan as being the best point guard in the UAAP. Fortsky is right up there. Ano ba, I talked to you guys, sasabi ko, si JD lang yung point guard na makita mo na hindi rattled, diba? Kahit ano pressure ilagay mo, it seems like he's in control of the game. Fortsky is like that as well. I mean, it seems like he's in full control of everything that happens on the court. And you can see, diba, kahit magkamali siya, hindi makakamot ulo si Coach Pido sa sidelines. May tiwala si Coach Pido kay Fortsky. He knows na Fortsky will make those right decisions, will get his team organized. I do want to point out against the LaSalle game, in the LaSalle game, when LaSalle was putting those full court press and those other different presses that they were running, Fortsky was breaking it all on his own, just slowing the game down, pointing to where his teammates had to be, and just maintaining that offense for USC, just knowing where people are gonna go, knowing where the offense has to go, knowing where to deliver the ball at the right spot for Nick Cabanero and the other guys. Ang galing. And there are also other guys that I think we have to shout out. Isaac Danting. He started the game a while ago. I think he's going to be a valuable piece. He provides some shooting. He can also create off the pick and roll. He was apparently in Ateneo. So, Coach Tab, kailangan ng shooting. Bakit napunta sa US dito? So, and the guy who was hot a while ago, si Leland Estacio, he could also create shots for himself and off the pick and roll. Yep. Si Kyle Paranada, I think he's going to be the spark plug off the bench. That scorer, the same thing as I said about Joric Bautista. Kyle Paranada looks like he's going to have that role off the bench. And I like their FSA. Si Tongkara,
yeah,
he's a bit undersized, 6'7", but he has touch in the paint.
Yeah.
Yep, he's very skilled. And you see, Fortsky really looks for him. Whenever he gets a pick and roll or a dribble handoff, and he drops it off in the paint, and Tongkara can finish despite only being 6'7". So overall, man, I love what I see from UST so far. I think they're gonna be competitive. Final Four, let's see. There are a lot of other teams out there who are on the rise, or we still haven't seen the full potential yet. But UST, man, they're doing great. And again, without Zayn Mahmoud, so they're gonna add a big to that lineup. Now, parang sabi nga ni Maui, this is a classic Pido lineup. Lahat sila same height, pare. Mga 6'7", 6'6", 6'5". Walang sobrang
sino.
Di ba? And very exciting times for the UST Growling Tigers. Sige, Sam, Maui, go ahead.
Yeah, ako ang initial
Go, Maui.
thoughts ko lang about UST is to Portsky Padrigaw, please focus on basketball and no more off-court shenanigans. I think you've shown enough to everyone that you are gonna be a good player wherever you end up in the future. This is a guy that doesn't look like he was out of basketball for a year, di ba? Just ready to go. Tsaka very composed talaga. I think si Gab yun, he mentioned that I think probably outside of Kagulangan, he's probably one of the most confident point guards in the UAAP. Just very composed, very patient, doesn't rush a lot of shots, takes his time. So yeah, that combination with Tongkara, who looks like a very good big man. One of the things that I also want to mention is Tongkara. If Gab mentioned si Padrigaw, I have special mention Tongkara. I like how he matched up with Agunane, di ba? Kasi Agunane has been dominating the past few weeks. We've been seeing yung full arsenal ni Agunane. But Tongkara really held his own. Maybe Agunane still had 12 points and 16 rebounds. But if you watch the game, you saw that Agunane struggled to score in the paint. Most of his baskets were off easy passes, and but yung Agunane also wants to create, but Tongkara really did a good job. I think that's one of the things that we mentioned also, the importance of having a decent FSA. Diba? Most teams in the UAAP have to have a decent FSA to be able to compete. And I wouldn't be surprised if this UST team will be one of the contenders for the Final Four. Maybe. Baka manggulat, di ba? I mean, this is a Pido Arencio team. When will we see the Calvo Gang? Yun na next question. Sam.
Okay, sige. So UST and to be fair to UST, 'di ba? They went up against the top two teams basically of the UAAP, kept it close, and I would say I think both the top two guard recruits, Paranada and Fortsky. Maybe Fortsky I think against UP had a good game, pero against LaSalle not even their best game, I would say. Si Paranada, I think, has had two bad games, actually, if you think about it. So, meron pa tong iaangat. Meron pang iaangat tong UST. This is just the first two games. They fought really well. They kept it close. And you mentioned, pretty much, it's not even their complete lineup yet. So, something to look forward to for UST. Sige, go ahead.
One more thing I have to mention, guys. Also, one other thing I like from USC is that they have variety now in how they attack on offense, diba? Last year, it was mostly just Nick Caballero isolation or Christian Manaytay isolation. Now they have multiple guys who can do that. Plus, they have Christian Manaytay on the post, who I thought was pretty good against LaSalle. Again, he's in that mode of a Cedric Manzano, Sam, na gusto natin yung panoorin kasi ang ganda ng footwork niya sa loob. Diba? So, they have that variety. I expect that their best five is going to be a combination of Manaytay, Tongkara, and three of the guards. Probably si Caballero, Fortsky, and maybe si Ice Danting or si Kyle Paranada. I love it. They have variety now. And I think they're gonna get more than 2 wins. I would be surprised if they get 2 wins or lower. I mean, come on, you recruited so much. I think they're gonna get more than 2 wins this season. Sige, Sammy, your turn.
Okay, sige. Since you guys all sort of pick teams, I'm going to pick a team also as my baller of the week. I think it has to be, I don't know, medyo swerve pick, but I'm gonna go with the UE Red Warriors as my ballers of the week. So, weird, because I think they had 2 bad losses where pretty much they led early on. I think sa Pinoyliga, they went up against Olfu, which was a good team, but they were missing yung Kobe Davis ba yun, yung one of their star players. They led, I think, early on, pero humabol yung Olfu. And then they lost to Olfu. They messed up yung last 2 minutes nila. They also lost to FEU. I think FEU made the run then, but they had a very convincing, I would say, win against NU sa Filoil this morning. So, bakit UE Red Warriors ang baller of the week ko? We've talked about it. The number one thing is Precious Momoway is still with the UE Red Warriors. We've talked about this, and he has restated his commitment and loyalty to UE, diba? Like, I think he was interviewed, tas sabi niya, I'm not gonna go anywhere. We'll see. But I'm not gonna go anywhere. Very loyal siya to UE. So that's the first good news. Kaya baller ang UE para sa atin.
That's what Remogat said too.
That's what Remogat said. Sorry na lang UE kung na-jinx ko na si Momoy. Biglang next week may balita na no? But that's the number one thing. And we saw that in against NU this morning, earlier. He ate up the big men of NU. Whether it was Omar John or your boy PJ Palacielo, Gab, they couldn't stop
Top
Precious
scored.
Momoy.
14-4-3.
He top scored but they lost. Top in rebounding ata and assist din si Palacielo. But Momoy played I think he played the entire game if I'm not mistaken, and
didn't sub out at all.
He did not stop, and nobody could stop him also.
Literal warrior of the week.
So, warrior of the week. So the fact na UE still has Precious Momoy, sabi mo nga, I think it was you, Maui, or Gabu said it, MVP contender to just because of how much minutes he's going to play and how many times he's going to have the ball in his hands, diba? And he could be one of the best, potentially one of the best FSAs also for season 87. So as long as you have an FSA like that, you're a winner. Second, I think I like what I'm seeing from the returning guys of the UE Red Warriors. I think si Jack Cruz Dumont and si Galang have slimmed down. I don't know if you guys noticed. They look slimmer and yung mukhang mas nag-toned yung body nila. So it looks like the guys went to the gym. Welo Lingolingo, we haven't seen a lot of him, pero the past few games he's been balling out. I think he top scored against FEU, although it was a loss. Did okay also dito sa NU game. But with that hair, he looks so different. Diba? Mukhang long hair na eh. Mukhang suwabe na si Lingolingo eh. So, I love that about Lingolingo. Actually, nung una ko siyang nakita with that hair, sabi ko, sino yun? Bagong recruit shooter? Ganyan. Pero si Lingolingo pala. And they lost so many players, but I think after watching them 3 games this weekend, they're starting to find yung rotation nila with their new players. Specifically, Gab, you've mentioned sino yun? Si Tapang. Muling Tapang.
Muling Tapang.
They also got Abate, I think, who was originally from UST, and then si Maga. Those 3 guys have sort of solidified their roles as part of UE's rotation, and not consistent yet, but you see them playing a lot of minutes and they take turns top scoring. I think si Abate against NU did not play the first half, and then pasok siyang third quarter, hit like 3 threes. So
3 straight threes, exactly.
3 straight threes, diba? I like Muling Tapang. He's a very solid point guard, and I think he would really fill in that role of Remogat for season 87. So, despite everything that has happened for UE, they sort of have bounced back, or they've made do with what they have, diba? And yun lang, that's what we're expecting to see from them. And I like their fight. They're just like UST, UE, even FEU are always in it, diba? Dun sa game. It's not always like except for that beatdown from UP during the first game in Pinoyliga. They've improved. So I have to give my shout out to the UE Red Warriors. We'll see, baka manggulat ulit sila this season.
Thank you, Sam, for bringing up UE and Precious Momoway. Because actually, also on my short list of ballers of the week is Precious Momoway. I couldn't give him, though, the full baller of the week because he has to hit free throws, man. I know he dominated a while ago. What?
Which has been his problem since last season, di ba?
Yep.
Uy,
27-19.
Free throw.
Kanina, pero Maui, in their loss against Adamson, he was 1 of 9. Couldn't hit anything. And he was clearly
Parang
frustrated.
Diba? Parang last season.
So that's something that's still his Achilles heel. But sige, mini baller of the week also to Precious Momaway because I think he's improved a lot from last season. You can see it, diba? From last season, pinipilit niya eh. Yung pinipilit niya yung mga moves niya, he was trying to attack from the perimeter a lot, trying to go off the dribble, like KD style. You're not KD, Precious. Right now, he's attacking exclusively from the post. I love his post moves. Maui, I think you were citing this a few weeks ago. Sabi mo, mukhang nag-improve yung post moves ni Precious Momaway. At sobrang impressed ako sa post moves niya. Ang dami niyang bagong moves. May turnaround, fade away, may dream shake pa siya na sinow off kanina, up and unders, he can face up, attack left to a layup, attack right. Ang dami na niyang moves on the post. So, very good sign. And tama sa amin, no? If there's one guy who I think can challenge KQ for the MVP honors this upcoming season 87, it's Precious Momaway because he's gonna have a ton of usage coming his way. He's gonna get the ball a lot, gonna grab a ton of rebounds. And I think you'll see a lot of games where he won't sub out Tom Thibodeau style. Diba? We're just talking about Tom. We're just talking.
Shout out to the Knicks.
We're just talking about Tom Thibodeau and how he runs his players to the ground. I think Coach Jack, in a lot of these games, he's gonna have to do the same thing to Precious Momaway because they don't really have a backup center that's capable, and they don't have a ton of options. I didn't want to give the ball of week to UE like you said because I think they had 2 bad losses and from their style of play, they ride or die with their 3-point shot. I think evident yun in their loss against Adamson. I don't know if you guys were able to observe it. Lamang sila ng first half kasi they hit their threes. In the second half, they couldn't hit their threes anymore, and that's why nakahabol ang Adamson and they eventually lost the game. Same thing happened against FEU. They was it FEU? No, I don't know. It was against Olfu. Sorry, against Olfu, they could not hit their threes as well. So they're gonna ride or die with the 3-point shot. No, you mentioned Sammy, si Abate, si Maga, Welo Lingo, Galang. All of these guys will just shoot threes and they will outmath you. Yun lang ang masasabi ko sa UE. They will just shoot a bunch of threes and if they go in, they will have a high chance of winning. And along with having Precious Momaway as an option. But yeah, the free throw shooting, Precious, yung naka-shoot ka ng tres kanina pare, pwede mong practicein muna yung free throws bago yung 3-point shot because you're gonna get a lot more free throw attempts than 3-point attempts.
Yeah,
diba?
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that Precious has to hit at a more consistent rate. Diba? So he has games naman that he's able to hit at a decent rate. But given the fact that he will probably lead the league in free throw shooting, I think he probably led it last year. He's gonna lead it again next year. Then he has to practice that shot. Diba? Sayang yung freebies.
Ang daming points left on the board just because he misses so many free throws. Sayang. I do think he will work on that. I think the coaching staff will attempt to have him practice more. Sammy, go ahead. Boleros naman.
Let's move on to Boleros. So let's talk about Boleros of the week. Let's start with you, Gab. Bolero, who is your Bolero of the week? Tingnan natin.
I actually had one before Omar John had a terrible game against Precious Momaway a while ago. And it's my thing, man. I don't want to give it to Omar John. I mean, he had a good game previously against Guangming. He had 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 fouls a while ago against Precious Momaway.
Tsaka mukhang siya na.
But
siya yung nasa Filoil, mind you. So mukhang siya na. Si Omar John at magiging FSA.
I'm not gonna give it to Omar John just because since he was in foul trouble, it gave more minutes to PJ Palacielo and he top scored.
Mm.
So,
Fair point. Fair point.
but yeah,
Gab is fair.
just before I go to my bolero, I just want to give Omar Jan, you cannot have those stupid fouls. I know he sometimes listens to our podcast. I'm not gonna give him bolero of the week because he played well in their other games, but you cannot have those crazy fouls outside of the 3-point line, beyond the 3-point line. You have to be in the game. NU needs you to be in the game. You're up. This is your third year already. He's a veteran, so I think he knows better than to commit silly fouls like that. I think he will be better. NU needs him in order to contend. They need him to win. So Omar Jan, salute to you, man. Oh, go Sammy.
Ito lang masasabi ko kay Omar John. Kahit si Carl Anthony Towns still commits stupid fouls or silly fouls. So, may chance ka pa naman. No? It's not just you,
Yes.
but let's try to avoid that. I mean, Kat is starting to figure it out after 9 years in the NBA. So, may time pa naman to figure it out. But hoping for the best
Okay.
for Omar John.
But my actual bolero of the week is someone also from the Yellow School, from UST. It's SJ Moore. It's SJ Moore.
Okay.
I
see
I'm
what
sorry.
you did there, Gab.
Listen, we thought last year na he might have a chance to produce given his athletic ability,
Nabudol tayo.
his scoring prowess from high school. So, di ba, tayo mga Maui, parang, wait, you could see him having, going in the open floor, running, just getting layups, athletic finishes. And now, this season, with the bunch of perimeter players that UST has recruited, it doesn't seem like he's gonna get any minutes. And plus, they have recruited similar players to him in Ashon Andrews and Jeremy Robinson, both athletic guard/wings. Especially si Ashon Andrews, I think plays a very similar style to SJ Moore. So I don't know, man. SJ Moore and the other bad thing here is these guys have nearly the same number of eligible years as SJ Moore. Diba? So I don't the breakout, or if there is a breakout, it's not gonna come in the foreseeable future for SJ Moore. Again, I like that he's a very athletic dude. He seems he's got skills. It seems he was one of the highly touted recruits from last season, but he seems to be not in the favor of Coach Pido. And I went to the DLSU UST game in Filoil last Friday, and every time SJ Moore just drove to the basket and missed the layup, papakamot ng ulo si Coach Pido. You guys didn't see this in the telecast, but he did. Every time na he committed something wrong or did something wrong, Coach Pido, yung on the bench, yung would be like this. So, you can see na there's a little bit of frustration on SJ Moore at Coach Pido's part. Hindi parang, di ba, sabi ko kanina, pag si Fortsky nagkakamali, okay lang si Coach Pido eh. So, may tiwala siya kay Fortsky. Kay SJ Moore, wala eh. Mukhang quick yank, just a few missed layups and yank off the yung off the court, yung never to be seen again. Sad to say, but I think this might not look good for SJ Moore. And if he wants to get minutes, I don't think it's gonna be in UST. Sabi ko nga, his other guys on the perimeter all have either at least 1 year na less or the same number of eligible playing years for UST. So he might have to go back to the NCAA, honestly, if he wants to get more minutes. I don't know. Kayo. Maui, Sam.
Yeah, I have to agree. Probably the NCAA, yung other option niya. We were so hyped with SJ Moore, him winning yung Slam Rising Star MVP last year. I even ranked them very high sa preseason rankings just because of the hype of having that perimeter player play with Nick Cabanero. if you see how UST plays right now, it's actually a welcome sign that you see more playmakers with Nick Cabanero. And they're actually a treat to watch, di ba? That was something that we expected from SJ Moore. I don't know if he just doesn't have yung ear ng coaching staff. Maybe they don't like his playing style. Maybe he just doesn't show it in practice. I don't know. But maybe this is not the right situation for him. He hasn't really shown yung potential niya. We expected a lot from SG Moore last year, and with UST looking to get stronger year in from year out moving forward, I don't know if there will be any room for him. So maybe he has to find another way to get minutes. Stop.
Um, I don't have anything else to add. Nabudol tayo basically, but I'm hoping for the best for SJ Moore. First two games pa lang, I don't know, we'll see. But it's not looking good. And admittedly, I was hyped also. He looked good, he looked athletic. Yeah, it seemed like he had the right size. We'll see. I'm hoping for the best for the guy. So, yun na lang. Maui, who is your bolero of the week or of the month, whatever?
I don't know actually kung Bolero of the week, but I would have to say it has to be Filoil-Ecooil. Uh, it's not because it's not playing well. It's because JD Cagulangan is just flat out balling. Uh, I'm picking him as
Okay.
one of my potential
Okay.
boleros of the year, just because he started out last year and he's probably expecting to get the same minutes or even more minutes this season with 1 year under his belt. But imagine he gets buried in the bench. Then imagine come season 88, there's another guy coming. Ray Mogat is coming in season 88. So what happens now to Jan Felicita? I think that's the biggest question we had with UP in season 86. Why is Kagulangan not playing bulk of the minutes, especially during crunch time? And I think we've had different answers. Kagulangan might have been injured. Felicilda was playing more consistent throughout the year. But I don't think that's going to be the case this year. It looks like Kagulangan is going to have a very big year. If you watch yung games, grabe. I think this is peak Kagulangan.
Takeover mode sa Maui, JD.
Yeah.
Takeover mode.
Takeover mode. I think both him and Lopez have a very good connection and chemistry. I would be surprised if Kagulangan doesn't start off next season and plays a majority of the minutes. The problem with Kagulangan starting is you have a ton of options on the backcourt. So maybe Felicilda falls out of the rotation, di ba? Si Forteas also there, Denzel Walker is always also there.
Torres.
But Rylan Torres, they also play at the point guard. But nothing against Felicilda. I just really had to shout out rin si JD Cagulangan kasi as also a bowler of this off-season, I think is going to have a big year. Sabi nga nung cousin ko, it looks like JD wants to play abroad. Diba? He's playing on another level.
He can.
He should. He should.
He should.
Yeah, he should. Diba? His conditioning.
He's at that level. I truly believe he's at that level. He's so good.
Yeah, maybe he can have that chance. So yeah, yun lang. Nothing against Felicilda, but it's gonna be a long road ahead for you, bro. South.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, again, baka yung Janjan Felicilda fans out there. We are big fans of Janjan Felicilda. Days
Since
pa lang
season
in NU.
84.
Since season 84, we've been big fans of Janjan Felicilda. And he plays really well. But obviously, when you have to pick between Felicilda and JD Cagulangan, ideally, you pick JD Cagulangan. I don't know about Coach Gold during Game 3 of the finals, why that wasn't clear enough. But JD looks like he's out to prove something so far with the way he's been playing this preseason.
So good.
And that bodes well for the UP fans. Gabi, anything to add?
No, your Bolero pick. For you.
Okay, sige. So, I also wanna, put some attention to the other teams. Siguro same as Maui, I would say. Just to be clear, it's nothing against these guys, but more appreciating someone else then. So may bolero of the week, bolero so far of the preseason. Are two players from Adamson, unfortunately, and it's the Ronzone brothers. So they're
Very good
just
pick.
like
Very good pick.
just like SJ Moore, we were very hyped and excited when we heard that the Ronzone brothers were coming over to the Philippines and playing for the Adamson Soaring Falcons. Sabi natin, this is a good pick for Adamson.
Division 1 players.
Div 1.
Div 1, yeah, exactly,
Div
Tama.
1.
Maui.
Diba?
It's
Div
Div
1
1
players.
Yun nakaka-hype eh.
Oh, sinabi. Div 1 US NCAA players coming over to join the Adamson Soaring Falcons. We said this would, elevate Adamson. This is going to be a competitive team next season. And they decided to split. I don't know why, but they decided to split the brothers. Yung isa sa Pinoyliga, yung isa sa Filoil. But both brothers haven't really done much, I would say. Maybe this is, part of like the Phil foreign students adjusting to the physicality or of the local Filipino games. I'll give them that. So nothing that much against them, but yung may mismatch lang in terms of the hype and what we're seeing so far. But why I also picked them was because it's just one game. But I saw someone playing for Adamson nung against FEU na Phil Foreign din that I really like. Carl Alexander.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Alexander.
Yeah. So I love this guy. I think he scored like 10 points or he contributed 10 points. But he played really good defense against some of the top players of FEU. And he was guarding the guards. I think, nag-research ako, I think he's like a guard, 6'2 guard na medyo stocky body. So, he can defend guards of the other teams kahit na they're faster. So, it's just one game, but I really like this guy. And that does not bode well also for the Ronzone Twins because I've seen a couple of games from them. So, I think that's also why na-elevate yung pagiging bolero nila. But again, I'm hoping for the best for the Ronzone Twins. Anything you guys want to say? Carl Alexander, Gab, nahulaan mo yung pick ko. So, anything you want to say about Carl
because
Alexander?
I saw him too. I saw him too that game. Like, whoa, this guy's something.
Yeah.
Same. Great minds think alike, Sammy. Yung great minds think alike. Yeah, but on the Ronzone Twins, the problem with the Ronzone Twins is, well, Adamson needs ball creators, playmakers, but there are rumors from our subscribers and from other fans that Joem Sabandal is done for the year. It's a big hit. He's one of those guys who can create his own shot, one of the guys you go to in the clutch. We haven't seen Matthew Montebon yet. Who knows where he is? Some say he's injured. Some say he's transferring schools. We don't really know. That leaves maybe maybe Joshua Riero as the only ball creator, that playmaker on this team. Joshua Riero is the only guy, and maybe si Franzman to an extent, but he hasn't shown that he can be a passer. He's a scorer, yeah, but he's not much of a passer. It's Joshua Riero and Cedric Manzano, but they need ball creators. And if you're not a ball creator, you have to be a shooter on this team. Sabi natin, diba, when we watched the UP Adamson game, this team, just much like UE, they will just try to out Matthew. They will shoot a ton of threes. They will drive and kick, drive and kick. Diba? Yun lang ang gagawin nila. And the Ronzone Twins can shoot also. So, if you can't shoot, you can't create plays. What are you doing to make Adamson better? That was the shocking part. No, I thought na they would be playmakers, be excellent passers. You can create shot from themselves. That hasn't been the case. I thought they were gonna be good shooters, but no, they were. Both of their shooting forms are ugly, and they don't go in the basket. So, I'm with you on this, Sam. Our expectation was here. And now the reality is right here, way below. Yung sabi mo, Maui, parang Troy Reich eh. Yung na Troy Reich na naman tayo dito.
Grabe.
Go ahead.
Magagalit na si Troy Reich sa atin. But yung to be fair to them, they do have time. They still have time. So may pag-asa pa naman sila. Maui, are they one and done? Hindi naman, 'di ba? Tama ba?
They're one and done.
I wouldn't know.
One and done.
One Pareho ba?
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe one and done. Maybe at
Okay.
most 2 and 2. But not. They're not young. They're not young. That's for sure.
Okay. So that's the bad news about that. Okay. I think that's it. That's it for today's episode. I hope you guys baka na-surprise kayo. Maybe you agree. Comment down below. And if you have your own picks of your ballers and boleros, please comment down below. We love reading your comments and we love replying to them. And please stay tuned because we're gonna do another back-to-back episode. We're going to talk about a special topic that's been trending, I think, in the UAAP. So we'll figure that out. Wait lang, Gab. Ano bang una nating ipopost? Ito or yung special topic?
We'll upload the other episode first. So
Okay. So napanood nyo na pala. With that said, let's just end it here. There are more UAAP basketball competitions along the way. Pinoyliga, Filoil. Let's enjoy. Let's go. Let's get ready for the start of season 87. See you again next time. Bye-bye.